Hey coach, you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it.
Consent is an affirmative decision to engage in mutually acceptable sexual activity given by clear actions or words.
Basically, if you're going to have sex, you have to talk about it and you both have to agree.
Consent may not be inferred from silence, passivity, or lack of active resistance alone.
Come on. This means that she didn't say no or didn't try to stop me, do not in any way classify as giving consent. Consent is a 100% affirmative decision, a yes with an exclamation point, not a question mark.
A current or previous dating or sexual relationship is not sufficient to constitute consent.
Just because you're in a relationship or you've done it before does not mean you get to do it again. It takes a yes every single time.
And consent to one form of sexual activity does not imply consent to other forms of sexual activity.
Just because I'm okay with one thing doesn't mean I'm okay with other things. Whatever you want to do, you have to ask.
Conduct will be considered without consent if no clear consent, verbal or nonverbal, is given.
If you're unsure if you have consent, the answer is no. If you do not get a clear yes, that's sexual assault.
The perspective of a reasonable person will be the basis for determining whether a student accused of sexual misconduct knew or reasonably should have known whether consent was given.
Saying I didn't know or I thought you wanted to won't do you any good. If the average person looks at the situation and think that's not consent, then regardless of what you thought, it's not consent.
Being intoxicated or incapacitated does not diminish one's responsibility to obtain consent and will not be an excuse for sexual misconduct.
There is no excuse for not getting consent.
None.